back, Stephanie.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, that sounded unenthusiastic. I am enthusiastic. I'm sorry. I am back. Hello.
We were at Vegas.
Yes, we were in Vegas.
Time has transitioned, and you have been to Las Vegas FurCon. You've been to a furry convention.
It was very fun. I actually had a really great time.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing a bunch of people. I got a tattoo. We did escape rooms. It was just a very nice time. It was very interesting just to be in a place where you can just be walking to like the hotel lobby to get breakfast, but there's just like furries doing yoga on the commonplace lawns.
It was a very strange furry convention because it was the biggest departure from the usual like middle of the city like convention center and hotel lobby setting, because it was like a resort style location, so yeah, it had lawns and pools and walkways that were open air and everything. So yeah, there was like what can only compare to being like these little clearings that would have like a little archway. They're like a budget, like
they're like a gazebo.
Yeah, they're like little budget like wedding locations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like here's
super
the spot.
budget.
Here's the spot where the couple would stand and get their photos taken, like those kinds of locations. But it's like a bunch of furries, like playing bass guitar or doing yoga.
It was almost as if you had just gone to it. Like if you took out the convention context, which you very easily could, it was basically as if you were just at a hotel where everyone who existed in the world was a furry and just all was sharing common space. Like they were just doing very normal things.
We witnessed utopia for 4 days. I very much enjoyed how wherever we went, those spaces would just be infected by furries because
we would go to like other places around Vegas and it's like there's a furry.
People would just spread out into it. So like we to the point where even when we were at Omega Mart at the end of the convention, you were still recognizing people there and so on. But yeah, like we went to like that German like beer hall place where we got like schnitzel and beer and shit, and then like whenever they're trying to do like the big dance numbers and the chicken dance and the conga line and everything very loudly because it's that kind of place, there'd be like fursuits in the crowd and in the group just mixed in.
I cannot express like how funny it was for me to walk into a hotel lobby where people are checking in and there'd just be people in business suits and people with their families just very confusedly staring at like a group in the corner who's just wearing their fursuits. The look on I saw this mother and the look on her face I'll never forget. I just like she just had a face. And it tickled my heart. It made me laugh so much because she just like was so baffled. She was like, "What is happening?" I
love watching the normal people interact and just realize what space they've walked into or something. Because it's
like, what sports team are you guys from or something? It's like
because the convention I think bought out the space,
but only halfway.
Well, I think it was bought out for those days in particular. Like the first 2 days in particular was fully bought out.
Yeah, but not Sunday.
But the day before when we were arriving to get to our hotel rooms and everything. Yeah, it's like all the past people were like on their way out essentially, and there was still like a bunch of random people in the lobby that just normal, and it was very much akin to like when I was at MFF and there's like 13,000 furries there, and you're in those heated hell hallways, the sky bridges that have just enough space for two people to pass each other. Like you just have to fit with the flow of the people and just walk with them, and every now and then like every 20th person would just be someone in like a business suit that was there for completely different reasons. And they're experiencing something today they did not know was going to be their day.
I mean, I have to, one of these people is wearing a suit that's more fun than the other one, so tell me who's actually winning, okay?
One suit's business in the front, the other one's business in the back. I mean, you haven't lived until you've seen two people in full body like leather holding each other's leashes, and then it
was very romantic.
And then just the very like frustrated like pantsuit woman stuck behind them in line on the sky bridge that has to walk behind them for almost a mile.
I love that very much. No, everyone there was really nice. I had a nice time. It was not typically convention-y, but like that was totally fine. Everyone there was really pleasant. If anyone was there and they just saw some bimbo walking around, that was me.
the bimbo.
The very cute girl. That was me. But No, I had a wonderful time. It was really great to get away. And then I had to come back to finals week, so it was nice to have like a reprieve for like a few days.
It was you were in the eye of the storm. It was your one pause.
It was my one pause.
There were a lot of pause.
There were a lot of pause.
So you've been immersed in the culture now on top of all this.
It's a good culture. I like the folks.
But back to where we left off, we were doing the scavenger hunt, and that's still an ongoing thing, I believe. And then also, I think didn't this guy get roped in, or he roped
himself in. Yeah, he's a punk ass who doesn't know how to read social cues.
He's driving us. So Julian fucking wormed his way into this narrative, not understanding that we're in a horror game, and you don't want to join Chase's narrative. There's so many reasons this can go badly for you.
Yeah, of all like the social groups just to like awkwardly wiggle your way into, why did you pick the one that's going on like a terrible, horrifying like stretch of days? Like you picked the wrong one.
He was just such good friends with TJ somehow, somewhere.
He needs to fucking back off. I don't know. Hopefully I grow to like him, but I just remember him interrupting us eating our sandwich, and I haven't forgiven him for that yet.
I'll never forgive him.
I wouldn't forgive him in real life.
He ruined my sandwich.
I would not.
20 minutes later, and we're heading up the narrow canyon road toward the mine. Don't go there. Nope. Nope. Uh-oh.
We know things that they don't.
Looping through this game over and over again and having the foresight about these locations is just really rough. It's a lot. And like, I started playing Arches, which is essentially like the 6th route of this game, except it takes place years later. And it just, because it's an echo again, you're just like, nope, don't go there. I know what's there. Please don't go there. Like, the mileage you get out of repeating, it gets to like Raccoon City levels, where like there's so many Resident Evil games that take place essentially simultaneously, because then they get to re-mine the same location and the same outbreak without having to deal with the characters knowing about what's happening in advance or reacting to the past games. Like Resident Evil 2 and 3 and Outbreak File 2 all take place, I think, basically the same day. Like Resident Evil 2 is Leon's coming into town for his first day working at the police station, and things don't look so good. And the second campaign of that game is Claire Redfield going to that same police station because she's looking for her brother who was in the first game but isn't there. So she's just not even there to find. But then, like, the third game, Nemesis, is Jill Valentine, the protagonist of the first game, in Raccoon City, being chased down by Nemesis, completely unrelated
Nemesis,
at the same time. And so you get
I have a crush on Nemesis.
Yeah. And then just to further riff on that idea, Resident Evil Outbreak is a multiplayer co-op game set during that location and time, just at various parts around the city. You just play like Left 4 Dead style missions that are also happening during that outbreak. So you just keep revisiting that in a similar way. And so like there's this, like, across these arcs, they get to keep using the same like 7-day arc of this nightmare town. But because we keep going back, like, no one can react to the past routes that we know about.
It's kind of
poor people.
I mean, in this situation, this just brings up dread. But in other situations, it's funny to be like, I'm privy to information that the characters aren't, and that's fun for me as like a person playing it or as an audience member. It's like any zombie movie ever, honestly, where it's like, I know what zombies are, but the people in this movie don't know what zombies are. So it's like, I know, I don't remember if in Shaun of the Dead if they know what zombies are or not. I think they do. Yeah, because like don't say the Z word. They like specifically try, like, they don't say zombie. I think in their world they know what zombies are. They're just dumb, and they just don't catch any of the signs at the beginning at all because they're goofy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
There are a lot of movies where they don't know what zombies are, and then they have to learn what zombies are over time.
Yeah, it's often a surprise. It's so common that it becomes a surprise whenever anyone does know what a zombie is. It's more common. I feel like it's more common for people to know what a vampire is in a vampire movie. Like it's accepted that vampires
are like it's like a Bigfoot, where it's like you think that they just exist out there.
Yeah.
But like they're
It's like
them
except
being
that
real is
vampires are like a
questionable.
legend that exists even in settings
like-
where the vampire is a surprise thing for it to be real. But yeah, zombies are consistently like, it's always like,
Well, zombies can't just be like a cryptid, because if zombies exist, everyone's a zombie. So it's
Yeah.
like werewolves can exist because they would just be like minding their own fucking business and hiding
but
their
it's the idea that for some
presence.
reason zombies can't exist in the same universe where somebody had fiction about the idea of zombies already. It's always like, what's this? This is weird.
Whoa,
what does this
crazy.
mean?
It's like Kuru, which is like what it's based on.
Yeah. Let's see. So back to the mine. I haven't been there in years, but the dirt road leads straight to it, so I don't even have to look up instructions. Julian chats away while I eat my lukewarm sandwich out of a foam
Damn
to-go
it.
box.
Fuck him so much.
You were the server, Julian, and you actively made my sandwich worse.
Can I take your tip back? Like, can you pay me for inconveniencing me?
Well, there's an almost robotic quality to the buck and how articulate he is. He's also really nice. I can certainly see why TJ would call him a friend. The bumpy road curves upward and finally we get to the mine. Don't go in there. No. No. Do not like this.
It's especially if it looks like that. We haven't even seen that picture before, but
That's
damn.
a bad look.
No thanks.
We've said this before, but it does trip me up how familiar these landscapes look.
Yeah, no, this
I constantly think
can
I've seen them
like
before.
I know what roads to take to find a place that looks like this.
Yeah.
I mean, minus the giant hole.
There's a wide open dirt space for parking, along with some concrete barriers along the edge of the drop-off. There are a few signposts, probably giving a brief history of the mine, and then there's TJ. The Lynx is sitting at the opening of the mine, right at the entrance. He's leaning back against the rebar grid that sealed the entrance. What the? Julian stops and looks over at me, then in the direction I'm looking.
Whoa, is that Teach?
I don't say anything because I realize now how limp the Lynx looks, his head tipped back, his paws limply laying on the ground. I'm out of the truck before Julian can even park, my to-go box spilling out onto the gravel as I jog towards TJ. TJ? Hey, what's wrong? You okay? The Lynx doesn't respond, and when I get to him, I see that his eyes are open, but they're rolled back to the point where I can only see white.
Oh no, what's
This is
Wow,
alarming.
this episode's starting off with some
The fuck did we walk in on?
spooky stuff.
I bend over him, trying to help him sit up better, made more difficult by his bulky backpack getting in the way.
Did he forget to bring water this time?
As I'm doing this, I feel a rush of cold air from the mine, blowing out through the rebar. I ignore it at first, focusing on trying to get TJ to respond to me, but then I realize there's a hissing sound to go with it, like someone exhaling. I glance up through the grid, but I don't see anything. Still, I get the unnerving feeling that the opening is breathing somehow.
Is he alright?
Julian's shouting and running up next to me, turns my attention back to TJ. I look down at the Lynx to see his ears twitching around. Huh? What? I crouch down next to him, putting a paw behind his head to give him some support. TJ, what happened? Are you okay? TJ blinks to me. Turns to me, blinking in confusion. Okay? What's wrong? He rubs at his eyes with the back of his paw before adjusting himself so that he can sit up straight.
You were just sitting there. You almost looked...
Julian pauses. It looked like you were passed out or something. TJ finally seems to focus on us, the dazed look in his eyes disappearing. Passed out? Oh, no, I was just taking a quick nap. With terrifying rolled back open eyes. In the sunlight? Don't do that.
Yeah, just melt your eyes.
Just absolutely, even just that, not even that, but just sunlight in general, like just getting just burned. Like you don't fall asleep in the sun.
I've done
That's
that
horrible.
before.
Hell, you're currently peeling from a sun
I'm
mishap.
terrible. Yeah, No, I fell asleep on a beach once with one leg crossed over the other, like on my side, kind of, and I had this gigantic white streak of like where my leg had been covering the other one, and I peeled for like a week straight, and I just had this giant white stripe all summer across, like diagonally across my left leg. I'm an idiot.
Steffi's currently recovering from sun poisoning because she was attacked by her teacher viciously.
Yeah, I had a teacher in a soils lab class where we go out and like look at dirt, and she didn't warn any of us that we were going to be outside for 3 hours straight in a field with no shade. And so I was wearing sandals and a tank top, and I thought we were going to be inside. And so did like half the people who were there. So I was out there trying to dig holes in the sun, like Louis Sachar, like Shia LaBeouf, you know, in my little flip flops. And I thought I was fine, and then I got home and I realized I was completely roasted. So yeah,
and then you suffer.
And then I suffered. Yep.
That was exactly what I was paranoid about the entire time at Vegas. I was
Vegas
like, I need to carefully avoid too much sunlight.
It's just confusing because sometimes it feels really nice out, and then you just are like a cooked chicken, you know?
Yeah, it's because you can get sunburn in the winter. It's a trick. Temperature's a trick.
Well, yeah, when I fell asleep on the beach, it was cloudy. So like that's you know, which I hear is actually the worst when it's cloudy.
Well, it's like that's like how you were rightfully worried, and then I became concerned about like how we're just having such a long trip through the desert. I'm like, these windows are dangerous. Like they could just burn us through these windows. We could be bad at the end of this drive, even though it was like a nice, relaxing 67 degrees, despite being the actual desert.
Yeah, I get sunburnt through the car window all the time. I'm very white. I get sunburnt all the time.
So, TJ, don't fall asleep in the sun. It's bad
he's got fur though, so I don't know if he can sunburn.
He's got a nose.
That's true. That's true.
His little nose is gonna peel.
His ears, inside of his ears,
and wherever his fur is thinner, it'll get you.
My dog has to wear like dog sunscreen during the summer because her fur is so short.
It's also just dangerous to like pass out in the sun and just like get cooked and just not know how hot you're getting because you're not able to react.
TJ
to how
should
you're
know
feeling.
better because he's the sporty outdoors guy.
Yeah, I feel like something happened to him and he's rationalizing it afterwards. But it's like even he would know this is a bad idea.
He's too focused on his game.
Yeah. TJ lets out a short laugh and leans his head back against his backpack. Because last time we were suspecting that he might be doing this on purpose.
Yeah, I really do think he is.
It's the idea that he might be placing these things to fuck with Chase or something, and he's like orchestrating this. But then there's, what if he's possessed? Ooh. What if possessed TJ was what was happening a minute ago?
I mean, possessed Carl happened. So, like, in possessed Jenna happened. So there's a possibility of this.
What? Here?
Yeah, here?
I look back at the sealed mine. The ominous blackness still seeming to yawn open at us. Why? Well, it's hotter than usual today, so I started to feel like I was going to pass out. Though that might be a bad sign, so I decided to rest once I got here. You came out here on purpose? Yeah. I saw the canyon with you last time, so I decided to take a trip to the mine this time.
Oh, fucking weirdo. You're a fucking weirdo, TJ. You're maybe the creepiest one here.
I love being baked. Bake me, son. TJ smiles lazily up at me as he continues to lounge against his backpack. Sorry I worried you. And, oh, Julian.
TJ's like, damn it, why'd you bring Julian?
I've been avoiding him all week.
I know. Can't you catch my social cues, Chase, you idiot?
TJ seems to suddenly realize that the stag is here. What are you doing here? TJ quickly gets to his feet, sliding his arm out of the straps of his backpack. He hugs Julian, the stag hugging back just as enthusiastically. TJ doesn't even greet me so intimately.
Ooh, Chase is jealous.
I guess they have more of a history than I thought.
Hey, Tej. Yeah, I met Chase at the diner. You weren't answering your text, so we both decided to come up and find you. That and Chase needs to get some footage for his project.
Oh, cool. Do you need help with that, Chase? TJ turns to me with a grin. I don't know what it is, but TJ is acting a lot more chipper than he was yesterday.
Yeah, because he likes Julian more than you. Eh.
Oh, actual friends. Imagine.
Is this what it's like?
That almost dark broodiness is gone, replaced by his usual cheer. I have to smile because of it, despite the situation just a few minutes ago. Sure. Another breeze of cool air seems to whoosh softly through the rebar. I look back at it. TJ, why the hell would you sleep here, next to the creepy mine? TJ frowns. It was really cool. Like, cold. I was laying in the open and felt some cool air blow out, so I decided to lean against it. It feels really nice. TJ walks up to the metal grid and spreads his arms out, clutching onto bars as he presses his face against it. He leans his face back, pulling a face. Well, it smells really musty, but it feels good. I look back at the opening. The blackness inside sends chills up my spine. I think back to when a body was found in there over 100 years ago. Even though I know there aren't any dead bodies in there now, it still creeps me the fuck out. I try to hide my shudder and turn away, looking back at the truck. Hey, so, are we going to Sydney's old house now? Is that why you guys came to find me? TJ's trying to hide it, but I can hear the eagerness in his voice.
Yeah, we're gonna go bother some nice normal family and tell them how our dead friend used to live there and how they need to let us in the house, which is like,
it's gonna be so uncomfortable. They should. I know how to handle that situation. Just have him do it.
What, the deer?
Yeah, he just barges into situations.
You know what? He would.
Yeah.
Maybe he would just be so immune to the social cues that he just would be like, your decor looks nice. I'm just gonna come inside and look at it. And they're just like, what? We're eating dinner.
Happening? Am I being Columbo'd right now?
Is that what Columbo does?
I don't know.
What the fuck does that mean? There's a sketch, I guess you could call him a sketch comedy artist. He does really weird stuff. He did a bunch of stuff for Adult Swim, including this little short where he just goes up to people's houses. It's Alan Resnick, and he's like, he just goes up, he's on a TV show where he just asks to see the inside of people's houses. And he knocks on the door and he's like, your house is beautiful. Can I see it from the inside? And the couple's like, no. And they go to shut the door and he puts his foot in the door and he's like, your house is really beautiful. Can I see the inside? And they have this whole discussion. They're like, they whisper, she's like, this kind of reminds me of colonialism. Should we let him in? And so they decide to let him in, and they have like this whole weird afternoon together where he's just in their house, and it's like the most awkward, weird kind of comedy. I like trippy stuff like
reminds
that.
Me of colonialism.
Yeah, he's wearing a cowboy hat, and that kind of reminds me of colonialism. Fair enough, you know.
It's just unnerving.
Yeah, no. I feel like he would be like that. He just would be like, can I see the inside of your house?
Yeah.
And you're like, no. And he's like, but can I see the inside of your house? And you're like, well, I guess.
I want your sandwiches to get cold.
Yeah.
I'm reminded a bit of like Cowboy Bebop, where he just walks into the convenience store and just pretends to not understand the surrounding situation just to get his way.
That's, I mean, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. If, you know.
I turn back to look at him. The Lynx now with his back to mine, pressed up against it. I want to tell him to move away from the opening, but I wouldn't be able to explain to him why. Well, let me get some filming done first. I can do the voiceover later, so it'll be quick. I hold back a wince as I realize how much time that's also going to take. My project is going to be shit at this point. Can't avoid that.
If you ever even finish it.
No.
So
Yeah.
I think it's the least of your concerns right now, Chase.
It's fine. His project already had a good ending in that it was finished like 2 years late. Once.
In one of the endings.
Yes. I just need to make it the least shit I can. Oh, yeah. Sorry. TJ laughs nervously, then looks away. Sorry, I'm just a little bit loopy from my nap. You guys really surprised me. It's okay. I'm gonna go get my equipment real quick, alright? TJ nods at me, and I jog off to the parked truck to grab my camera. So, TJ might still be acting a little weird, but I'm just glad he seems happy again. Seeing him the way that he was last night was a little unnerving, to say the least. I scoop up my camera bag from the bed of the truck and head back, slowing down to a walk as the heat is already starting to catch up with me. How TJ was able to go on a several-hour-long hike is absurd to me. It almost seems foolish, especially for someone like TJ who knows about how dangerous that can be. When I get back to the mine entrance, I see Julian and TJ sitting with their backs to either side of the opening, chatting with each other. They're eating granola bars, and TJ holds one out to me as I approach. Thanks. Hey, TJ? Huh? TJ looks up at me innocently. If you go on a hike again, be sure to bring me next time, okay? I don't think you should be alone out here. Oh, yeah, sure. His ears droop a little, a small frown on his face. I just don't want you to get hurt, you know? It's really hot today, and it would have been really terrible if you'd passed out alone. Yeah, sorry.
Julian's like, I can go on a hike with you, TJ.
Yeah.
Like, forget Chase. I'm a deer and can probably walk further than he can.
I'll be your hike boyfriend.
Yeah.
I drop my bag gently on the ground before leaning back against the wall next to the Lynx. It's all good. I just want to make sure you're okay. Thanks. I just didn't want to wake you up this morning. Jenna offered to go with you, didn't she? TJ sighs quietly, looking away into the mine. Yeah, but I can tell you guys don't want to go. I just don't want to ruin this trip for you more than I already have. What? TJ, what are you talking about? TJ goes quiet, then just shrugs his shoulders. Maybe he isn't back to his old self after all.
See? I knew it.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind going with you, TJ. I love hiking.
I love books.
I feel like he would get sunburnt. Because he's a white deer.
I don't know if the white matters, but...
Well, because, I mean, it makes me think that his hair is probably really thin. I don't know. For some reason, he looks like he'd sunburn.
Like he's just a Zolo deer.
Well, because I know... You know why? Because most animals that have, like, any kind of, they're amelanistic, so they have like less melanin, or if they're albino, which is like completely no melanin, then they're more likely to have problems with the sun.
His big,
I think that's why.
shiny
That's
nose.
why I think that. Yeah.
Julian smiles gently at the Lynx. For some reason, I feel a tiny tug of annoyance in my chest. It's stupid, but I was the one who offered first, and I'm the one that took TJ out the first time.
Oh my goodness.
Chase is jealous. Yeah, we could both go. The point is, you don't go out alone next time, alright, Tej? Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
A short silence stretches out between the three of us before Julian speaks up again.
We were just talking about our old Bible study group.
Ugh. TJ leans his head back against the wall, rolling his eyes. It's an expression I don't see from him very often. What about it?
Oh, just the way that TJ would always take it so seriously, and no one else would.
TJ shakes his head in exasperation. Yeah, I never had any control in that club. Oh, really? Were you in charge? It's a little odd to think of TJ in a leadership position like that.
Well, look at his polo shirt.
I mean, he wasn't if no one listened to him.
Oh. I mean, polo shirts are very, like, workplace to me, so
Yeah.
I feel like... Let's put it this way. I would never wear a polo shirt for fun, ever, in my entire
No.
life. So if you're wearing one, it seems like you mean business about something. So I get the impression, like, he looks kind of managerial.
He's just such a nerd.
Yes.
I just never knew him to put himself out there in high school. Yeah, I revived it after it sort of went defunct for a few years. Wasn't all that popular.
It's a Bible study group, TJ. I'm sorry to tell you. That's not going to be the most popular thing in high school.
He's like the founder of the Bible study group.
Oh my goodness.
Cursed.
That is curse.
TJ smiles with some embarrassment.
Yeah, we had like 3 other members, not including you or me.
Yeah. Then one dropped out after like 2 meetings.
It was me. I was like, oh, like Bible? I thought you meant Beyblade. Like Beyblades. I don't know. I don't know why the fuck
Oh, this is a Beyblade study.
I was like, oh, I thought it was like, well, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a word that sounds like Bible.
I thought you were joking.
I thought you were about libel.
I thought this is ironic.
I love spreading libel about people.
We're not studying the Bible ironically? Oh.
I mean, Jesus is pretty hot.
I was just doing it for the gram. Julian clicks his tongue.
What a godless school we went to.
Damn.
Better.
It might be the fault of the glasses, but I don't like this face.
Better not look.
I don't like this expression.
He
It's
looks like
really,
a smug
I hate it.
punk
He
ass.
looks so fucking smug right now. It's so much.
See, don't look back at that school, or else you'll turn into a pillar of salt. You know.
Wow.
Bible jokes.
Wow. That was Junji, one of the most recently published Junji, or English published, like translated Junji does that. It's the Pillar of Salt story.
I do like the pillar of salt story. I don't know. I like the Bible's got some fun stories. Jesus is my favorite character.
It's got some banger quotes
Yeah.
just mixed in there.
It's got some mean quotes too. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Every now and then you get like the Valley of the Shadow of Death, and then you get trash. It's just back and forth.
I like Evangelion, you know? There's a lot of Bible references in Evangelion. I think it really adds.
Hey!
You know, I'm kidding. Mostly.
Well, I did want atheists to join too, as long as they weren't disruptive. I just wanted to show everyone what a nice experience it could be, even if you didn't believe. I very vaguely remember TJ inviting me to the club and me saying that I'd think about it.
I've honestly
Inviting you to the club?
Yeah, to the Bible club.
I thought it was college.
What, the story that we did?
I thought the Bible club was at college.
I mean, it could be both. I mean, there's probably...
Oh, wait, no, it wouldn't have been college because Julian was here, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure TJ's in a Bible club in both scenarios anyway.
I just got thrown off because Chase said, I don't remember him ever putting himself out there in high school. But it was during high school.
Yeah.
So Chase just didn't care that much about what TJ was up to.
I mean, honestly, I've dated a lot of religious people. I don't know why that is. And then because I'm the seductive heathen, and they always fall for me.
It's my duty to save her.
Yeah, sure. That really worked out well. And then I've had a lot of friends that were religious, and I was just like, yeah, no, I've been to Bible groups, and I've been to Mormon church, and I've been to like a lot of things. Like you can, it's important to have perspective, and I think that Chase should have gone at least a couple times to TJ's Bible club just to be a nice friend, and like I think a lot of atheists can go to a Bible club and not be disruptive. It's just nice to sometimes it's nice to hear what other people are thinking about, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that it's nice that TJ tried to have a Bible club that atheists could go to if they wanted to. I think it's nice, and I think it would be sad for me to think that somebody might think that a bunch of cringy atheists would show up and like spray paint the walls and be disruptive and be all crazy. Because I'm a heathen for sure. I do a lot of not terrible
How
things.
many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I partake in a lot of typically sinful activities. However, I respect people and their religion as long as it does not affect other people negatively who don't want to have to be involved in it. To each their own. I'm cool with it. TJ, rock on. You do you. I'm sorry no one listened to you in the Bible club, and I'm sorry your shitty friend Chase didn't show up to support you even a single time.
I see why the openly gay couple didn't go to Bible club.
The thing
in the small town where everyone knows that they're gay.
In high school, I knew a guy who I don't want to be He was definitely gay. I don't want to like be like, oh, I know he's gay, but he doesn't know he's gay. He was, I guarantee you, if any person on this planet met this person, he was gay. I didn't know that he wasn't openly gay. But he talked about how sinful being gay was in front of me once, and it threw me off immensely because I thought he was very openly gay. Because he was walking around doing like the "Hey girl, you look cute today," like, and I thought he was just saying that because he was being cheeky. But it turns out he was trying to pretend like he was straight. You know, like he's like, "Hey girl, like you look so sexy today," and I'd be like, "Oh, that's like ha 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 ha," like you're
like you thought he was like.
I think he was fronting.
You thought he was like your initial read was that he was like behaving effeminately and all that and like stereotypically gay, but then he was
him flirting,
but it was him
quote,
actually
quote,
trying
flirting
to
with
flirt.
girls was him actually trying to flirt, but I think it was just him trying to make himself feel better. And it really broke my heart when I heard him talk about gay people the first time I heard it. I was like, oh my gosh, I feel it made me so sad because I'm like, you must really like be mean to yourself, and that really hurt my feelings to think that he might be mean to himself. Because he was a very nice guy.
It works that way, yeah.
But I was like, oh man, that broke my heart. But meanwhile, like I know a lot of people who are openly gay who are involved in religion, like, and that's fine. You just gotta
like
find
TJ.
Yeah, well, or kind of TJ.
Not openly gay, but
yeah, he's something.
Something's up.
Well, I mean, no, fucking look at this deer guy. Is he not gay?
I don't know.
I mean, you know, whatever. He's just maybe just a hipster, but I'm getting vibes, you know. I wouldn't hit on him. That's all I gotta say.
I never went, of course. Wasn't all that spiritual in the end, though.
Yeah, mostly we just talked and brought snacks. It took TJ a while to realize no one wanted another Sunday school session at actual school.
Yep. Hours of planning out the window.
It's good on your college resume. It was still a great time. I think the four of us were happier for it.
Yeah, I guess. TJ seems to suddenly notice me. Sorry, Chase. You wouldn't know much about this stuff. It's okay. It's interesting to hear about. Again, I get that little twinge of jealousy, even though I know it's not fair. I'd chosen not to show up. Probably using that time to go home and hang out with Leo.
Yeah, with your sinful gay sex. That's honestly way more fun than Bible school.
Sorry for not going to your Bible study. I was too busy
fucking my boyfriend. See, Chase would be the cringy atheist that would be disruptive. He'd walk in there and be like, oh yeah, like I'm fucking my boyfriend, like his dick's so big, blah blah blah. Well, poor TJ's trying to talk about Jesus. You didn't miss much, just discussions about movies and watching movies too.
They couldn't even be religiously themed.
Dude, Prince of Egypt is so good. Thank God.
Hey! I laugh at how indignant TJ is. Well, I'm glad you had a good time at least. I came away thinking the whole thing was a failure.
I think I remember you mentioning that you wish your friend here would have shown up. Oh,
I don't really remember.
That's so sad. Of course you do. You said it all the time.
TJ's ears flatten and turn red. Who? Me?
Yep.
Julian grins as TJ tries to look away. Well, the situation's kind of funny. Now I feel even worse about not ever showing up. Sorry, Tej. You know, it was high school and all. Yeah, I understand. Don't worry about it.
So, did you start another club at your new school?
TJ smirks. It's a Christian school, so there's like 50 clubs about religion.
How do
and they have wars.
Oh no!
Every now and then, one of the clubs kills one of the other ones.
You're using too much iconography in your club.
We have too many clubs. There's schisms.
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking of all the riffs there could be. There's so many.
Yeah, like just the real ones.
Yes, exactly. This is the Orthodox Christian Club. It's like, oh, this is the Fundamentalist Christian Club. This is the Baptist Christian Club. It's the Catholic Christian Club. Like, oh my gosh.
Or there's the Mormons. We don't talk to them. It's just salt in the wounds.
I think it's In Moral Oral, they had the joke where everyone in town went to church and they had like the Jewish section that was roped off. That was like the Jewish section of the Christian church, which is funny because they hypothetically shouldn't be at the Christian church, but you know. Oh, are you a member of any of them?
A few. He runs all of them. Which ones? A singles club.
Oh, Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle. Singles?
As in finding a date?
Sure. He looks away again. It's hilarious how bashful he is about this stuff. He's in college. All of this should be natural to talk about, but not with TJ. You meet anyone? Hey, Chase, don't you have to film some stuff?
No, this is way more interesting.
Yeah. Let's all talk about TJ's dating life.
I want to know, TJ.
You asked about my dating life. How dare you? Not on this route, though. That was right, because we did it twice. So that would have been during Jenna's route.
We're
you're with TJ and Jenna at the diner, and TJ asks if you met anyone in college.
Yeah. What the fuck, TJ? That's true.
He looks back at me with a frown. Whoa, just asking. Julian chuckles quietly. I bend down and start pulling out my equipment, deciding that a few long shots with the tripod should be enough. As I'm extending out the legs, Julian asks TJ about the hike.
Was it fun?
TJ shrugs, finishing the last of his granola bar and pushing his paws together to get rid of the crumbs. It was okay. It was really quiet. I wince as one of the pads gets pinched. One of my pads gets pinched between the metal. Kind of creepy, to be honest. I would like it if you two went along sometime. If I do it again.
Of course.
Yeah,
hang out with Julian?
Definitely. Gonna pee on myself again. Hiking tradition.
Classic. I mean, doesn't everyone do that when they go hiking? You gotta cool yourself off, like how goats do.
And then
goats pee on themselves.
Then you assume the position inside of a bathroom door that doesn't lock.
Yeah.
Over the next 20 minutes, I set up the camera in 3 different spots, getting about 1 minute of film for each. TJ and Julian sit in the truck while I do. And whenever I glance at them, they seem to be animatedly chatting and laughing. Once I'm done, I sigh and quickly snap the legs back down into the bag along with the camera. I see my to-go box in the dirt and consider picking it up, but I don't. I drop the bag into the truck again before hopping into the passenger seat, leaving TJ to sit between the two of us.
Dude, you just fucking littered.
Yeah.
That's not cool. It's probably styrofoam.
But he was so scared about his friend and then also ignored it afterwards.
Take it home and throw it away.
Yep. He's even leaving the styrofoam.
Yeah, the styrofoam. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They go quiet as we start pulling out onto the dirt road. No. The mixing of friend groups and just the awkwardness of like them whenever Chase is not in the conversation, they're just like chatting animatedly, and then the moment he joins again, now it's awkward. And because Julian has a bad read on social situations, he's like, haha, yeah, these embarrassing stories about you, specifically about Chase, haha. And then fucking TJ just wants out. He just wants out of the conversation. Like the watching the flow change constantly. I'm starting to think that between Julian doing that and also just like barging into our
scenario,
our sandwich conversation, I think he's written to be autistic.
I was gonna say, okay, so I was gonna say that where I think he's coded as being autistic, but that will not prevent me from giving him shit for it, because I give shit to my autistic friends for doing that all the time.
Well, sometimes it's how they know. Like you have to like, sometimes with people, like you just have to like help them figure out the social rules, and then because they're essentially like, depending on, obviously there's such a range here, but like I've heard it explained that like you essentially think about social rules like an actual like list essentially of behaviors and like what to do in different situations.
Well, it just requires an extra
and like how frustrating it can be when the rules are the rules you think you figured out get contradicted because you're trying here, and then it doesn't like add up all the time.
It's one of those things where it's like I have a lot of autistic friends, and I really like, it's one of those things where I think it's really endearing when anyone try, like, regardless of if a person's autistic or not, when people are actively putting in an effort to like be friends with someone or to make someone feel good about themselves or to be like an active friend in their life, like I think that's so endearing that even if they kind of fuck up something, it's like I can overlook it because I know that the intentions are good. I think Julian might be actively not caring, which is something I kind of want to give him shit for, because I don't think he's even trying to consider it. It's one of those things where it's like if somebody does it on accident, it's like it's fine, like it's whatever. Like I know a lot of people that will completely barge into a conversation or completely interrupt me, and it's like, okay, deep breath. Okay, it's like, oh, what do you want to talk about? We could talk about that for a few minutes, but you know, it's like, okay, I forgive you. I think Julian's just kind of being a dick. I think he's like, I'm not going to consider this because I don't care about Chase. I mean, granted, who should care about Chase? I don't really blame him for that.
It's prime. Like, he serves a purpose in the narrative in that he's giving us even more evidence towards the suggestion that TJ is into Chase on some level, which is a thing that we've had like 10 clues about at this point in this route alone.
Well, the fact that he puts up with us,
the way he does it is so awful. Like the way that Julian does it is just like, no, please, what the fuck? Like, don't say to the person about how I talked about them all the time. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, no.
That's mortifying.
That is mortifying.
They go quiet as we start pulling out onto the dirt road. What were you guys talking about?
How much he loves you.
All the time.
Not much, just about high school.
TJ nods. Again, I'm starting to feel a little left out between these two. Kind of like a third wheel. Well, maybe a tricycle.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. Chase, So, what's the plan now? Well, we thought we'd go to the house now, after we pick up Jenna and Carl. Alright. We drive in silence a little while, and for some reason I start to wish I was sitting in the middle. The way Julian keeps turning the wheel forces his elbow to brush up against TJ's side, and I force myself to look away, wondering what the fuck I'm thinking. I'm treating TJ like he's something that belongs to me. We've only hung out recently over the course of this week. I'd barely talked to him for the past 2 years. I force myself to look ahead, out the windshield. Then TJ's phone buzzes, and my eyes naturally go to the screen as the Lynx whips it out. I see the name Flynn, and then the message underneath it. I only have time to see a few words. You know his fucking... Tell me.
Oh no, Flynn.
TJ jerks the phone back down, and I look away just as I feel the Lynx's eyes on my face. I wonder if he saw me looking. I'm sure he did. That doesn't really matter, though. Because now I'm wondering what the fuck Flynn thinks he's doing. They've been staying away from each other the past few days, obviously, but I guess Flynn found another way to get to TJ. What the fuck does he think he's doing? I feel myself getting angry. I don't exactly know what the lizard is saying to TJ, but judging by what I saw, it's definitely not good. I make a mental note to ask TJ about it tonight. If he won't tell me, then I'll let Leo know. He'll do something about it. Oh, now you'll talk to Leo this route.
Because you need him to do something for you.
He'll love that.
Yeah.
He'll love that dynamic. It'll be great.
Oh, yeah, you need me for this thing? Okay.
Yeah.